Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. If it were true that black people were incapable of creating advanced civilizations, how do we explain the remarkable achievements of ancient Egypt, which is undeniably part of Africa? Historians have offered three possible explanations. One, that the Egyptians were not black. Two, that ancient Egypt did not develop a true civilization. Or three, a combination of both. Historians after the 19th century often chose the third option, preferring to deny the black identity and the civilizational achievements of the ancient Egyptians. Traditional history textbooks consistently downplay the significance of Egyptian civilization. Consequently, there has been a persistent effort to diminish Egypt's contributions and instead elevate Mesopotamia. If Egypt were indeed as white as some claim, it would be unnecessary to minimize its importance. For over a century, a fabricated history has favored Mesopotamia over Egypt, undermining Egypt's role as a foundational civilization for humanity. We will present the outstanding achievements of ancient Egypt, the rightful name of which is Kemet. Kemet, ancient Egypt, is to Africans what Greece is to Europeans. As black people, we should embrace Kemet as a representation of black achievement in history. Ancient Egyptians were black, and pharaonic Egypt was a genuinely African civilization. Jean Vercouta, a respected French Egyptologist, concluded, Egypt was African in its writing, culture, and way of thinking. The roots of Egyptian civilization trace back to the Anu people from southern Africa, who gradually moved north along the Nile. They brought advanced mathematics, writing, agriculture, architecture, and religious knowledge. The first pharaoh, Narmer, who unified Egypt around 3300 BCE, was a black man. The term Kemet, meaning black land, is a powerful testament to the black identity of the ancient Egyptians. They proudly referred to themselves as Kemtiu, meaning the black ones. Visual evidence, such as sculptures and paintings, consistently depict Egyptians with dark skin, thick lips, and other African traits. From the first dynasty to the Greek invasion, Egyptian rulers and their people were black. Scientific evidence, in the form of genetic and melanin tests on ancient mummies, conducted by Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop and later confirmed by DNA tribes, unequivocally establishes the black heritage of ancient Egyptians. Studies of pharaohs like Ramses III show they carried African genes, further solidifying their black lineage. Even ancient Greek scholars, including Herodotus and Aristotle, described Egyptians as black. In the beginning, the Nun was a vast primordial ocean filled with dormant particles. Within this ocean, one particle awoke, gaining mind and consciousness. This particle, called Imana, became the first spirit. Using its energy, known as Ra, Imana emerged from the Nun, spreading this energy to awaken other particles and create life. As Ra energy spread, it emitted a loud vibration. This sound, known as the creator word, marked the start of creation. Everything in the universe, from stars to humans, carries this initial energy from Imana. This energy sustains life, and every element of creation vibrates with its unique sound, embodying the Creator's word. The ancient Egyptians held a profound belief that all creation, every element of the universe, could be vocalized. They referred to these elements as the words Medu of God, Neter. This belief in the vocalization of creation led the ancient Egyptians to invent writing. Writing in Medu was considered as speaking the words of God, and reading it was akin to hearing God's voice. This ancient script, adorned with symbols of stars, animals, and plants, served as a muse for other writing systems across Africa and beyond. Ancient Greek historians like Diodorus Siculus and Herodotus provided valuable insights into the origins of Greek civilization, pointing to Egypt and Africa as its roots. Plutarch and Strabo, other Greek historians, emphasized that Greek scholars like Solon, Thales, Plato, Eudoxus, and Pythagoras traveled to Egypt to study with its priests. They learned essential knowledge, such as the true length of the year and the principles of geometry and astronomy. Thales, for instance, discovered key astronomical phenomena and mathematical principles in Egypt. Pythagoras spent 22 years in Egypt, learning about sacred words, geometry, numbers, and the transmigration of souls. Greek columns and architecture were also heavily influenced by Egyptian designs, a fact still visible in Western public buildings today. Herodotus credited Egyptians with inventing geometry and the 12-part calendar, which the Greeks later adopted. These Greek testimonies reveal that the Greeks acknowledged their debt to Egyptian and African civilizations for much of their scientific and spiritual knowledge. They admitted that their renowned scholars were students of the Africans who had already mastered these fields. Amen or Amin originates from Africa and refers to Imana or Amen, the sole deity in African beliefs. This god is depicted in various forms in the temple of Pharaoh Hatshepsut. In Judaism, Jews pray to Yahweh or Elohim. In Christianity, to Jesus, and Muslims to Allah, but all end their prayers with Amen. This consistent use across religions is intriguing. When asked, followers of these religions often say Amen means so be it, in truth, or it is my faith. However, linguistic studies in Hebrew, Arabic, and other languages reveal that Amen does not carry these meanings. The word has its origins in Africa, specifically in the Nile Valley's pharaonic civilization. In this historical context, Amun or Amen was a title for the Hidden One, a reference to the invisible, unfathomable creator known as God. This historical significance of the word Amen invokes a sense of reverence and awe. Ancient Egyptians used Amen in their prayers to address this hidden god. The term also appeared in the names of many pharaohs like Tutankhamun and Amenhotep, showing its sacred significance. This consistent usage suggests that Amen originally referred to the creator god in African traditions and was later adopted by other religions. The term was likely copied and incorporated into Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Our ancestors saw Africa differently than we do today. Archaeology shows that humans were born in southern Africa and the Great Lakes region, near the sources of the Nile. The ancient people of Kemet considered this region the Holy Land, calling it Taneter, meaning the land of God, and often made pilgrimages there. The Great Lakes and southern Africa held a special significance for our ancestors in the Nile Valley. They revered natural features like Kilimanjaro. They called it the sacred pyramid that houses the divine energy. This reverence for Mount Kilimanjaro likely influenced the design of the pyramids. For the ancient people of Kemet, the Nile River was a critical geographical marker. They traveled from the Great Lakes down the Nile to Nubia and Kemet, also known as Egypt. This journey led them to view the source regions of the Nile as the direction of the north. As a result, the south of Egypt today was the north, Upper Egypt, and the current north was the south, Lower Egypt. This perspective contrasts with modern maps, which are influenced by European views. Reversing the map to view Africa as our ancestors did makes everything logical. The Great Lakes and southern Africa are at the top, and the Nile flows downward. This map orientation aligns with their vision of the world. The Great Pyramid, a marvel of ancient architecture, traces its origins back to the first pyramid at Saqqara, built by the legendary African scholar Imhotep for Pharaoh Djoser. This initial step pyramid set the stage for subsequent advancements in pyramid construction. Over several generations, Imhotep's innovations and the collective knowledge of architects and engineers led to increasingly sophisticated structures. These included the pyramids of Meidum and Dashur, built for Pharaoh Sneferu, which transitioned from step-sided to smooth-sided pyramids. The culmination of these architectural developments was the construction of the Great Pyramid of Khufu, also known as Akhet Khufu. Built over 20 years by a vast workforce of paid laborers, architects, and engineers, this monument stood 147 meters high and consisted of approximately 2.5 million limestone blocks. The pyramid's precise alignment with the cardinal points and its geometric perfection reflects ancient Egyptian scholars' advanced understanding of astronomy and mathematics. The Great Pyramid was not just a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu. It was a symbol of divine order and a testament to the ancient Egyptians' pursuit of Ma'at, the concept of cosmic harmony and balance. His legacy continued with his son Khafra and grandson Menkaure. who built the second and third pyramids on the Giza Plateau, aligning them with the stars of Orion's belt. The Egyptians invented one of the earliest calendars, with the oldest known use dating back to 4236 BCE. This ancient calendar, which has remained mostly unchanged, is the foundation of our modern Gregorian calendar. The Egyptian calendar consisted of 365 days divided into 3 seasons: Akhet, flooding; Pere, germination; and Shemu, harvest, each lasting 4 months. The Nile's water levels enabled mathematical calculations to predict grain yields. The year had 12 months of 30 days each, with 5 special days dedicated to specific deities. The new year began with the rising of the star Sirius. The Egyptians were aware of the extra 6 hours each year, equating to 1 leap day every 4 years. But they traditionally added a year every 1460 years instead. In later periods, they adopted the leap year system we use today. This precision demonstrates the remarkable observational skills of the ancient Nile Valley civilizations. Greek scholars, including Herodotus and Strabo, acknowledged the Egyptian priests for their astronomical knowledge and for sharing it with the Greeks. With its systematic approach to tracking time, this Egyptian calendar remains a testament to the ingenuity of ancient African civilizations. Ipet Isut, also known as Karnak, is the largest religious building of antiquity, begun 4,000 years ago by Pharaoh Senusret, also known as Sesostris I. It was expanded over 2,000 years by nearly 30 pharaohs. Covering 2 square kilometers, it is 5 times larger than the Vatican, and only second in size to Angkor Wat in Cambodia. This temple complex is a testament to the African genius in architecture, religion, and engineering. The temple was dedicated to the god Amun and other deities, reflecting the African belief in a single creator god, Imana, manifesting through various forms like Ra, the sun; Maat, justice; and Isis, fertility. The city of Waset, also known as Thebes, became Kemet's capital under the 11th dynasty, and the site served as an astronomical observatory for millennia before becoming a religious center. Significant contributions to Ipet Isut include the construction of an artificial lake, symbolizing the primordial waters, obelisks, festival halls, and the magnificent hypostyle hall with 134 columns. The temple staff, numbering in the thousands, included priests, peasants, and artisans who maintained the temple and conducted daily worship. Are the people who currently occupy modern Egypt, the descendants of the ancient people of Kemet. Let's examine the historical records. The process begins with thorough historical documentation to determine the people at the origin of a civilization. For example, when studying ancient Egypt, it's essential to focus on primary sites and periods relevant to the civilization's founding. This involves examining the oldest and most significant tombs, monuments, and artifacts, and considering the historical context of invasions, migrations, and cultural exchanges. We can only gain a comprehensive understanding of the true origins of any civilization by combining precise archaeological evidence with historical records. Historical records provide a detailed account of Egypt's rulers and their origins over millennia. Around 4000 BC, the first dynasty emerged between Sudan and southern Egypt, eventually conquering the entire north by 3300 BC. This was during Nare Mari's time, from 3300 BC to 1730 BC. These dynasties from southern Egypt and Sudan ruled exclusively. Between 1730 BC and 1540 BC, the Hyksos, an occupying dynasty likely of white descent, conquered the north, while native kings retreated to their southern stronghold. From 1540 BC to 1070 BC, indigenous dynasties regained control and ruled the entire country. Between 1070 BC and 663 BC, Black Libyans associated with whites ruled the north, with indigenous power retreating to the south. Eventually, the Sudanese regained control and ruled the whole country. Between 663 BC and 332 BC, Egypt experienced a chaotic succession of white Persian occupiers and native Egyptian rulers. From 332 BC to 639 AD, the Greeks and subsequently the Romans, entering from the north, dominated Egypt. From 639 AD to the present day, Arabs have ruled Egypt, with intervals of Turkish and British control. Welcome to Black Africa, an illustrated history, a captivating exploration of the African continent's rich and diverse past. This book sets itself apart with its seamless blend of scholarly research and engaging storytelling, steering clear of the typical narratives of slavery and colonization to highlight the grandeur of Africa's history. Journey with us through the ancient civilizations of Egypt and Nubia, the dynamic cultures of West Africa, and the resilient societies of Southern Africa. Our aim is to provide a comprehensive and enthralling account of Africa's past, celebrating its significant contributions to global history. Designed for history enthusiasts, students, teachers, and curious readers alike, this book promises to deepen your appreciation of Africa's vibrant cultures and enduring legacies. We invite you to immerse yourself in these pages, to discover the incredible stories that have shaped Africa and the world, and to share your newfound knowledge with others. Black Africa, an illustrated history, was born from a passion for unveiling the overlooked or misunderstood narratives of Africa. We believe history is more than a series of events. It is the collective memory of humanity, woven from the experiences, struggles, and triumphs of countless individuals and communities. Drawing from a vast array of sources, including archaeological findings, oral traditions, and historical documents, we strive to present a balanced and nuanced view of African history. We extend our deepest gratitude to the scholars, researchers, and storytellers whose invaluable contributions have made this book possible. Their dedication to preserving and sharing Africa's history is the cornerstone of this work, and we are honored to bring their insights to you.